Hi everyone, so I am back with another video. This is my July reading wrap up. I have read, I think it's 18 books. Yes, 18. Well, 18 physical, 19, 21 if you count the digital. Yeah. So, 21 books, 18 physical reads. So, pretty average. So yeah, these are going to absolutely fly by, I think, for this video. So we're just gonna get started. So the first book I read was On the Road by Jack Kerouac. I spoke about this in my Johnny Depp's reading recommendations video, so if you want the full review, you can go and check that out. I gave this 1 star. Yeah, I'm not going to speak about this one too much in here. If you want the full review, go and check that one out. So after that, I read How to Date a Prince by Hayden Stone. This is a NetGalley arc. I gave this one 3 stars. The review is already up on my channel if you want to go and check that one out as well. This one's already out. Then I read Dracula's Brunch Club, which is a graphic novel about Dracula owning a bakery where he makes jam donuts. Again, this was another NetGalley arc. This is by Brian Gosner. Or Gosner? Gonsner? I think that's how you say it. I gave this one 5 stars. There will be a NetGalley review coming up, so I'll go into better detail there. So the first few out of the way like that. We'll get into the proper stuff now. So, I finally read It by Stephen King. So this is my first Stephen King book. This is not in fantastic condition, but so I've got the movie cover here. It says You'll Float Too on it. So this is about probably a lot of you have seen the films. I have not seen the films yet, quite surprisingly. So it says, Derry, Maine is just an ordinary town, familiar, well-ordered for the most part, a good place to live. It is a group of children who see and feel what makes Derry so horribly different. In the storm drains, in the sewers, it lurks, taking on the shape of every nightmare. Each one's deepest dread, sometimes it appears as an evil clown named Pennywise, and sometimes it reaches up, seizing, tearing and killing. Time passes and the children grow up and move away and forget, until they are called back once more to confront it, as it stirs and coils in the sullen depths of their memories, emerging again to make their past nightmares a terrible present reality. I gave this 4 stars. So yes, for the first Stephen King book, I actually quite enjoyed this. So it does start out very slow. It's a lot of information dumping. It's over 1,000 pages long. This is the biggest book I've ever read. Information dumps about all the characters' lives as adults and how it has returned. There's a lot of interludes about the town's history. This is very heavy. And how Pennywise plays into a lot of the town's history as well. So in the second half of the book, you actually get to see how the characters are as children, how they live their lives, and how Pennywise actually affects them as like individuals and as a whole group. But there's also this talks a lot about bullying. So there's a couple of bullies that are in here as well, and it goes into that and how bullying affects a lot of these kids, which I think is quite an important topic. Despite this being a big book, I think that's quite an important topic Stephen King touches on. It also kind of touched on the fact that Pennywise could be a manifestation of Derry itself, and how all the evil happenings going on in Derry is him. He is the manifestation of that, which is kind of like he's feeding off the energy, which is quite like spiritual in a way. It's got a lot to do with the spirits. This is a very creepy and unsettling atmosphere, this one. It's horrifying and disgusting. If you know, you know, the sewer scene. But I actually really enjoyed this book, minus the sewer scene. And I will be watching the movies at some point this year. I am so glad I've read that. That's an achievement. So, next up, I read Regal God of War by Victoria Bates. So I got these at Wigan Comic Con last year on my birthday, actually, that landed, which was quite surprising. So, this is about being heir to the Gamarakan throne isn't easy, especially when you have competition. For Prince Makoto, I love Prince Makoto, life is a constant battle as he strives to gain the approval of his cruel and ruthless father, King Taka. Though as challenging as his adult life is, it's nothing compared to the horrors he was forced to endure as a child. Some nightmares never leave you, even when you're old enough to become a living nightmare yourself. That's King Makoto. So these are signed as well. I'll show you them as I go through them. So I gave this one 4 stars. This was a very, very good way to start a fantasy / sci-fi, epic fantasy sci-fi series. It is filled with detail, great world building. It's like a diary almost, actually, or a history book. There's lots of dark topics covered in this. Rape, death, murder, that kind of stuff. All that fits in with like a royal fantasy. Lots of brutal killings. That does make you dislike King Taka and actually Prince Makoto as well. But despite all of that, he does actually hold a very special place in my heart, King Makoto. God, that's so hard to say. I do really like this. And it has gods in it as well. Then I read a very popular one, Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. So this is, I think we all know what this is about, but I'll read you the synopsis anyway. A fragile teen girl is held captive, locked in a cell by the re-establishment, a harsh dictatorship in charge of a crumbling world. But Juliet is no ordinary teenager. One touch from her can kill. The re-establishment wants to use her as a weapon, but Juliet has other plans. After a lifetime without freedom, she's finally discovered the strength to fight back, to find a future with the one person she thought she'd lost forever. I gave this 3 stars. This, even though you are very much warned at the beginning that there's a lot of repetition in this, it was still very over-repetitive. It was the repetitive quality, trope, whatever you want to call it, was way, way overused. It wasn't very dystopian, despite it being marketed as a dystopian. It focused way too much on romance. Way, way too much. Like, if you're fleeing for your life, no way are you sitting there and going, yeah, let's snog. Sorry, not happening. I did actually like the flowery writing style, and I did like the premise. But it was absolutely executed extremely poorly, and I will not be continuing with the series. Then I read another NetGalley arc called How to Talk to Your Dog About Murder by Emily Soderberg, however you say her name. I also gave that one 3 stars. That does have a video coming up as well. So I'll talk more about that in that one. Then I ventured back into Regal. With Invincible, you can't even see that. There we go. So this is the second book. I will not read you the synopsis because that will spoil it. So I gave this one actually 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed this one. This one is also signed. There you go. So this one has a much larger focus on the epic war that kind of begins at the end of the first book. So it provides very much a lot more depth into the plot. So our prince is now a king in this one. So it's now King Makoto. And it does actually get a lot more into these darker topics as well. And I actually quite enjoy this one, despite what Makoto actually does in this, because he does a lot more brutal things in this one. He actually is still my favourite character in this book. So it's essentially a duology with with a novella and a short story. This is what the series is. I'm just kind of placing these very precariously behind me, hoping they don't fall. And then I decided to read Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. So this is my Illumicrate edition. So I'm not going to pronounce her last name because I physically cannot do that. B lives by a simple code. What would Marie Curie do? If NASA offered her the lead on a neuroengineering project, a literal dream come true, Marie would accept it without hesitation. Duh. But the mother of modern physics never had to co-lead with Levi Ward. Sure, Levi is attractive, tall and dark, piercing eyes kind of way, but Levi made his feeling towards B very clear in grad school. Arch enemies. That looks like arch nemesis to me. I should probably wear my glasses. Works best for employed in their own galaxies, far, far away. Star Wars reference. This is a STEM-ish romance based on the Star Wars fanfiction. When their equipment starts to go missing and the staff ignore her, B could swear she sees Levi softening into an ally, backing her play, seconding her ideas, devouring her with those eyes. Possibility to have all her neurons firing. When it comes to actually making a move and putting her heart on the line, there's only one question that matters. What will B do? I gave this 5 stars. Ali Hazelwood has not missed yet. I've read 3 of her novels and I love them. She has a formula and it bloody well works. She creates lovable and very relatable characters. Put H and on. And they evolve very, very well over the course of this entire story. I love the conversations about Marie Curie and how it just very much slips in. And you've got the espionage side of this one as well. So like at the start. Here's my favourite piece of trivia in the whole world. Dr. Marie Sklodowska-Curie, that's how you say it, showed up to her wedding ceremony wearing her lab gown. It's actually a pretty cool story. Scientist friend hooked her up with Pierre Curie. They awkwardly admitted to having read each other's papers, flirted over beakers full of liquid uranium, and he proposed within the year. But Marie was only meant to be in France to get her degree and reluctantly rejected him and returned to Poland. I love those kind of little tidbits you get with this one. So definitely would recommend Love on the Brain. And I love the editions. I've ordered the Problematic Summer Romance as well in this edition. So I can't wait to get that, and I will be unboxing that on this channel. Then we jump back into the world of Regal. So this is Healer. This is Healer, the little novella. So this is set after the main story. So it just wraps up the outstanding storylines that are left. This is a stunning cover. This is also signed. There we go. Victoria Bates has not written anything else bar Regal as of yet. So I'm waiting for her to write some more books because her writing style is absolutely stunning. So it was nice to see the focus shift from war to love in Healer. It was kind of healing, I suppose. Healing the world, healing this world. And it was nice to see love in all of its form. So in this one, you get to see Makoto's son, Tangen. And Tangen actually is gay. And he falls in love with Jonah. and you get to see that kind of play out in this one as well. Tengen is king for a short time before he passes it on to Tomoko, the other son. And then, just to round it all out, I didn't tell you, I gave that one 4 stars. And they're all falling. There we go, that's better. To round it all out, I read Hello Eagle. So this is Regal's short stories. So this is, sometimes the gods don't send nightmares because they hate us. Sometimes they just do it for fun. So this features the actual gods of the Gamerican world. So, it was actually quite an interesting short story. It contains all the characters. King Taka, Makoto, Thought, Amrican as well. It just shows how powerful the gods actually are in this world. I haven't got too much to say. It was just really funny to see the gods kind of just give these characters nightmares just because it's Halloween and they thought it was funny. Genuinely hilarious. So I actually boxed off that entire series. I'm quite proud of myself. So then I delved back into my favourite second home, The Shadow World, and read The Clockwork Prince, which is the second book in the Infernal Devices series. I love me some more Shadowhunters. I really do. I absolutely adore this. I mean, I love Cassandra Clare's writing. So The Shadow World is literally like my second home. So the scenes with Will and Magnus were amazing. I love me some Magnus Bane. I think you all know that from when I raved about Clockwork Princess. Is it Clockwork Princess? No, that's the next one. Clockwork Angel. You should know me while I rave about Magnus Bane. Magnus was totally just willing to help Will Herondale. Yet he still spoke with that sarcastic charm that we all love. But also seeing the way Tessa is completely bonded with both Will and Jem in this, and obviously her saying yes to the engagement. I kind of did think it was going to go the other way, that she was going to say yes to Will, not Jem. But then again, we'll see how everything kind of pans out in Clockwork Princess. But, oh my god. Magnus just owns me completely. I love Magnus. But I love Cassandra Clare so much. Like, I have an entire shelf dedicated to her, which is right over this side. It has the mortal instruments on top. Everything's fell right behind me. Just adjust. There we go. Then it has Swordcatcher, the Chronicles of Castellane, basically. The Clockwork stuff, the Infernal Devices. Last Hours, and the Bane Chronicles are up there. Alice Curses, Dark Artifice, then like the Shadowhunter Academy, the extra stuff, the Codex, all that kind of stuff. And then I will have the graphic novels come my birthday. I just love collecting the books. So speaking of Magnus Bane, did anyone know Harry Shum Jr. wrote a book? I certainly did not till I was looking on eBay at some stuff and found Marty Does to Dance. This is written by Harry Shum Jr. It is also written by his wife, Shelby. Rabara, I think that's how you say it. This, I gave 5 stars. I gave Clockwork Prince 5 stars, in case you did not gather that from my lovely review. Oh my god, this. I am fully aware this is a children's book. It's so sweet. It's literally a message about courage and embracing your and about how embracing your true self is very important. As much as this is an important book for children, this is an important book for adults to read too, because we forget that as well. And the dedication in the back that he has, that he wrote for his daughter, was adorable. Well, they wrote for their daughter. May you always be your true self and never stop exploring the unknown. Like, come on, you're not telling me that's so sweet. I've paid probably an ungodly amount of money for this, people probably think, but who cares? My money. And speaking of sweet, A Home for Spark the Dragon by Michael Sheen. Another one of my loves, Michael Sheen. This is my signed copy. Look at that. I have 2 copies of this, because I'm weird. This, I mean, come on, it's a dragon. And it's written by Michael Sheen. I mean, who would not read this? It's a 5-star, obviously. It's about this dragon, who leaves, who's, words. When a storm leaves him without a place, he has to set out to find somewhere new to live, and his friends help him. It's godly adorable. So, it has adorable characters. It also has a very important storyline. And it tells it in a very easy, accessible and child-friendly way. I recommend this for children. I recommend this for adults. I recommend this for everyone. Everyone should read this. Very much like the other one, everyone should read these 2 books. It's very engaging, got great pictures in, and it's a very powerful read. Go read A Home for Spark the Dragon, and go read Martine Does to Dance, please, because these are amazing. 2 amazing children's books. I will forever recommend children's books on this channel, because you never know when you're going to need them. And after that jolly one, we've got a DNF. Death of the Author. I mean, I'm going to saying the title wrong. By Nidida, however you say her first name, Okafor. I DNF this at 43%. So, this is about Zula. I'm butchering this. This came in the Starbright. It's a Starbright exclusive. This edition. And it's about, she gets dropped from her university job. Her latest novel gets rejected. It's all in the middle of her sister's wedding. Her entire life gets upended. So she's disabled, she's unemployed, and she's from a high-achieving, judgmental family. Then she starts writing this book called Rusted Robots. And I shall leave that there because my review is going to say it all. So, I DNF this at 43%. So it has, this book, within of itself, has a very toxic family dynamic. Her parents want her to be independent and have a job, yet when she tries, her mother keeps sheltering her because she's disabled. You're going to see where I'm going to start having a problem with this, and I'm probably going to go on a very long rant about this. And keeps labelling things as dangerous. She meets this professor who can give her mechanical legs, to help her walk because she's paralysed. And then her mother labels it as dangerous and ungodly. And then she comes out with the fact that, well, isn't my wheelchair ungodly? Same difference, people. I get that that's the culture. But also, it annoys the flipping heck out of me. Sorry, but it irritates me. And Rusted Robots, the actual novel she's writing, you get inklings of it in here. It comes across projecting the full portrayal that disabled people are broken and need to be fixed. And it's very harmful to the community. And it feels like this author either does not have anyone related that's disabled, not disabled herself, and has done zero research on the disabled community. I'm going to say this now. As someone who is disabled, yes, right here, both physically disabled in a couple of different ways, this arm especially, but also I do use wheelchairs, I use crutches, and I use sticks. Can you actually, there you go, you can see actually my walking stick collection over there. This book did not portray it anywhere where it needed to be. It says about stories where the greatest currency to us, greater than power, greater than control, stories where our food, nourishment and enrichment, consumer stories were added to our call and deepen our minds. This woman did not deepen her mind about disability. She actively did it harmfully, and it ruined it. And it's not even sci-fi, this, actually. It's, I wouldn't even class it as general fiction. It's not even sci-fi. But, yeah. I'm going to shut up before that book angers me. Really does. I've read a few books like that where they portray disabled people as being broken and need to be fixed. Disabled people are not broken and they do not need to be fixed. We're going to move on. Then, just something much, much better. I read the Doctor Who files on the Doctor. So this talks about the 10th Doctor, my favourite Doctor, David Tennant. So we've actually kind of surpassed 3 of my favourite actors in this one. We've done Harrison Jr., Michael Sheen and David Tennant. So we're doing really well here. So I give this 5 stars. I mean, there's not really much to say about it. It's literally just a little book about the 10th Doctor. It just goes through everything. It was really cool, though. I really did enjoy it. Like it says, no one knows his name. He's just called The Doctor. But yeah, it's a cute little book. And then I read Under Lock and Key by Lana Ferguson. This is another Afterlight exclusive. I mean, you're not telling me look at those edges. Excuse me. I gave this 4 stars. So, this is set in Scotland. I love me some Scottish people. As you can tell, I love David Tennant. The man, the myth, the legend, and what lies beneath the depths. Kiana, or Key McKay, McKay, is used to secrets. After her father's death, she finds herself thrust into a world he always refused to speak of. With just a bedtime story about the monster that saved her father's life and the name of her estranged grandmother, Key has no idea what she'll find in Scotland, but being rescued by a gorgeous, angry Scotsman is the last thing she expects. Lachlan Greer has his own secrets to keep, especially from the bonny lass he pulled from the safety of the slippery shore. One with captivating eyes and a last name he's been taught not to trust, someone he definitely doesn't find wildly attractive. Soon it becomes clear that there might be a key to uncovering each other's secrets. Up against time, mystery, and a centuries-old curse, they quickly discover the magic might not be only in fairy tales, and that love can be a real lock mess. It's very fun, this one. Forewarning, this is actually a monster cryptid romance. He is the Loch Ness Monster, she is actually a Kelpie. Just forewarning people, because I know a lot of people have got into this and not known that. Yeah, it's a monster romance. And I love the Scottish setting. I mean, Scotland's beautiful. And it's just full of magic and it's full of myth, and I love it. So both Key and Lachlan, this is Key and Lachlan, and they're great characters. They both grow and develop over this entire book. The only thing what did not make this a 5-star was they had a third act conflict between them that kind of bothered me. I thought it was quite unnecessary to put it in there. Other than that, it's a great book and I would totally read it again. Then we're getting near to the end now, and this is a very long video because I ranted about that other book. Doctor Who and the Cybermen. So this is set in 2070. The Earth's weather is controlled from a base on the moon. But when the Doctor and his friends arrive, all is not well. They discover some unexplained drops in air pressure, minor problems with the weather control systems, and an outbreak of a mysterious plague. With Jamie injured and members of the crew going missing, the Doctor realises that the moon base is under attack. Some malevolent force is infecting the crew and sabotaging the systems. As a prelude to an invasion of Earth, the Doctor thinks he knows who's behind it. The Cybermen. So this is the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton. So this is based on the moon base, which is actually a broadcasted story from the 11th of February to the 4th of March in 1967. So I gave this 4 stars. This one's actually written by Jerry Davis. So it actually does start out quite slow, this one. And by the midpoint-ish, end of the first quarter, it does actually pick up and it becomes quite fast-paced, quite action-packed. The Cybermen are very classic Doctor Who monsters. This is genuinely what they look like. There's some really lovely illustrations in here. I'm not going to be able to find one now, am I? There we go. Some actual illustrations in this book about what they used to... This is what they used to look like in the show originally before they went high-techy. So it's a really cool addition to have those in there. It's a really good book. I really enjoy Doctor Who books. There's not too much I can say about them because the Doctor Who books, I love them. Then I read Doctor Who: The Price of Paradise by Colin Brake. This is a 10th Doctor story. So this is Laylora, which is a paradise planet, a world of breathtaking beauty, where the peace-loving inhabitants live in harmony with their environment, or do they? The Doctor and Rose arrive to find out one of the perfect ecosystems is showing signs of failing. The paradise planet has become a death trap as terrifying creatures from ancient legends appear and stalk the land. Is there a connection between the human explorers who have crash-landed and the savage monsters? And what price might one human have to pay to save the only home he's ever known? So, this is a 5-star. I mean, this captured both Ten and Rose very perfectly, this one. Still has a price tag on. I did not actually pay 50p for this, I paid more. It has actually a good message about environmentalism that's weaved through the pages, which is kind of ironic considering these are paper. That's why I wrote it like that. It's got fantastic world building. This could have been actually a brilliant episode, and I honestly, if they ever do like a let's make a special and bring the 10th Doctor and Rose back, make this into an episode, please. That would be genius. And then to round out July, I finished off what I have because I didn't realise this was a 12-volume manga. I got them the wrong way around. But Angels of Death, Volume 2 and Volume 3. I can't actually give you a synopsis of this. Did I actually ever? I don't know whether I ever told you about Volume 1, but hey ho. So, I gave Volume 2 4 stars. So this is an incredibly twisted manga. This was my first manga. Actually, tell a lie, it was not. I read the My Neighbor Totoro manga, which I still have somewhere. Because I absolutely adore My Neighbor Totoro. But I have a Totoro tattooed on my leg, actually. I have Ponyo on there too. Because I love Studio Ghibli. I want a Howl's Moving Castle tattoo as well, but that's not the point. Why are we discussing that? Anyway, this is very twisted, this one. And I actually quite enjoy it. And its characters, they're quite oddly likeable. Zack, where's Zack on here? Hang on. That's Zack. Glad we cleared that up. Or Isaac Foster. This is based on a game, and it did have an anime as well. There's 12 volumes to this. I only have 3. So cue Christmas presents. There's a lot of animal abuse in this one, though, so be aware. But it was great expansion on Volume 1. Then I decided to just straight up read Volume 3. Why not? And so this one I gave 5 stars. It's actually quite... This is by Kuru Naduka. Naduka? I think I've butchered that one. I do apologise. I'm usually quite good with Korean and Japanese names, but I think I ruined that one. So this is full of action. It feels like a dystopian. Ray and Zack are actually being put through challenges with this one with Kathy. That's Kathy. She's like the head of the prison. She's a bit irritating and a bit bitchy. She's the villain, basically. But there's a lot of character development in this one, so I look forward to whenever I can read the next ones. So yeah, that's what I read in July. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will be back with another video. I do have a book haul. I just do have some more ARC reviews to film. So yeah, bye.